10:19. Check the weather. 35 degrees. Good shot.
Is this officially the Good Chocolate Salad? Camp joke. He's doing camp joke because of time.
I'll do further after hours. And there's back, front, chicken, okay.
My whole family. Zachary. Is there a program? Okay, that's fine. Just wanted to make sure I didn't miss it. No, we're not. You're moving away. You both are wearing very similar colored shirts today.
Mine's darker.
Well, it's similar.
Yeah, it's nice to get a little sun.
How are you? Tom is shutting my phone off. I know what you're talking about.
I'm too next to you, so I can show you what I can do.
Really?
No. Because where I'm sitting, I got this.
I don't care. One of these days I can just buy bottles I want and be done with it. And just spend all that money on, sweet glass. It was nice to see the sun this morning. All of those days where it was drizzly and rainy and I know everybody was hoping Thursday morning for a delayed opening.
Yeah.
And then it rained. Yes, I had 2 children who weren't happy either. Like, okay, get out.
Hopefully it'll soon.
I'm not hoping that pull out. At least we got a break coming up soon.
Yeah. They wanted to snow then, so they could snowball fight.
Well, that works.
Maybe I should go outside and drop my glasses back in the car.
You're going to be alone.
Beautiful little cup right here.
It's where it
Only works for glasses.
does. Let me put it back in the car. You know, it's finished. I don't need it for seeing books. Some far away. You can survive. I'll be back in 40
That's what
seconds.
it sounded like. Swear I heard the strings of a guitar. Yeah. Hello. Did you ever just look up just for the basketball? I know, actually, there was a picture of Mr. Fisher must have posted on Instagram of the band playing.
Like Dylan?
Na, 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 na. The band. Yeah, on Instagram, at that band.
No, that's that Asian. America.
As he said, a little white stripes. Or whoever posted the picture on Instagram.
Probably not right there.
It was Cotton Shop Band, I just don't know who runs the Cotton Shop Band.
I don't think did not run by. It's only country camp and not runway. I know who's double that. Because that's all. I know that's that.
Who's gonna be next year?
I don't know. Anyone.
Who's, what junior would be
I don't know.
moving up?
Junior or maybe that's the one I hear. Cause like Shanna, Ava,
Or you.
Ava.
Well, it's really Jenna Hamer who could shoot through.
Ava.
Well, you don't know the book about how you say.
Cause my teacher is.
Davis is playing.
Mr. Chairman,
She said she was retirement.
Danielle said that someone needs to sit in the second.
I don't use the word force. No.
I go with my wife.
Yeah.
You will sit here, or CJ can sit with you.
No,
You're welcome.
Ben is proclaimed CBA is not going to sit. I said the board together.
He's in there. Definitely here.
Thankfully Zachary said something. Because we don't get rid
I
of
didn't
it.
show you a picture that follows it.
Because I'm not good enough.
Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos, Bruchim Habayim, welcome. It is such a joy to have you all here today, celebrating with us the joy of Shabbat, of the Sabbath, which would be enough of a reason to feel so happy to be together. But we have such a bonus reason to be happy to celebrate, and that is we get to celebrate Ava becoming a bat mitzvah today. A bat mitzvah translates as a daughter of the commandments, what we like to say as an adult in the Jewish community, which happens when you turn 13. We'll be talking about that throughout our service today as Cantor, Belinda, and I help her take part in all kinds of new rites and rituals for which she is now eligible as a Jewish adult. We are going to be praying together from this prayer book, this Siddur, which hopefully you had a chance to grab from Brad Julier, our congregation's president, in. If your prayer book happens to have 2 page numbers in the corner, as you know, so many books do, please follow the page numbers that are in brackets. If you only have 1 page number in the corner, great. Just follow the ones as we announce them that you see. We're going to have clapping and singing and reading together, and you are always invited to participate and sing along throughout the service when you are comfortable. We're going to start with an opening nigun, it's called, which is a song without words, And it's a way to just kind of open us up and have our own prayers start the morning. Now, one of the new rites that Ava has as a bat mitzvah is an invitation to wear a talit, a prayer shawl, also called a talis. In Jewish tradition, we learn in the Torah that we should wear a garment that has fringes on the four corners. And when we look at these fringes, when we touch them, they serve as a visual, tangible reminder of all the mitzvot, all the commandments we're responsible for as adult Jews. And Ava's going to start wearing one this morning, and to present her with her talits is an honor to invite up her parents, Andy and Matt. Amen.
We continue on page 192.
Shabbat.
offer thanks to you, Adonai my God and God of my ancestors. Source of all creation, sovereign of all souls, praised are you, Adonai, in whose hand is every living soul and the breath of humankind.
Baruch atah Adonai, asher biyado nefesh kol chai, v'ruach kol basar ish. Now, starting on page 198, we come to a group of blessings called Nisim B'chol Yom, the miracles we experience or we pray we will experience every single day. And they are chanted in Hebrew, which Ava will be leading, and you are welcome to join her. And we're going to alternate with the English translations back and forth. So you can chant the Hebrew with her, or you can read the English with me, or do both. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who opens the eyes of the blind. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who frees the captive. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who lifts up the fallen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who stretches the earth over the waters. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who strengthens our steps. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who clothes the naked. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who gives strength to the weary. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who made me in the image of God. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has made me free. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has made me a Jew. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who girds Israel with strength. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who crowns Israel with splendor.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who causes us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with the words of Torah. We continue on page 206. These are the things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all. Continuing on page 218.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
We continue on page 224. Please rise. In the beginning, even then, a new light was sown for the righteousness, a promise that your light would become the catalyst, first for order and then for hope. Author of language and light, help us use the words as you have to cast light into dark waters and draw out justice and truth.
Baruch atah Adonai, Yoser HaMeorot, page 230.
forebears whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life, be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah.
Baruch atah Adonai, Elohim Yisrael, mi'ahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu,
Please be seated. We will continue on page 234.
Page 241.
And what is my lifespan? I'm like a man found out of Egypt, the Red Sea parts. I cross on dry land, 2 walls of water, on my right and on my left. Pharaoh's army and his horsemen behind me. Before me the desert, perhaps the promised land too. That is my lifespan. We continue with the tefillah on page 242. Please rise.
Yeah, that's not the right one. That's the.
Adonai,
we now come to a part of our service called Seder Kriyat Torah, the part of our service surrounding the reading of the Torah. And this is a very exciting part of our service. It begins in our Siddur, in our prayer book, on page 362, page 362. There will be a number of family members participating during this part of our service. We will be having Lita Williams and Anna Kamai helping to open up the ark in just a moment. And then Charles Williams will be helping us to undress the Torah, following our hakafah, following our parade with the Torah. So I'd like to invite everyone to please rise. Eva, contact up. Lita and Anna, come on up.
Torah.
when you will shower Ava with sweetness. So maybe put it in a pocket or under your seat or somewhere near you. We'll let you know when and what to do with it. So now that the Torah is out, oh, thank you. Some of our 7th graders, or Zach has already helped out as well, are going to be grabbing Etz Chaim Chumashim. These are books that have the Torah text and translation in it. If you are interested in following along as Ava reads this morning, please just kind of raise your hand, flag them down as they are handing them out. They would love to grab some for you. We have amazing students who are helping out. Thanks, Josh. Thanks. 8 years now, too. Yeah, amazing students. Get your chumash here, get your chumash here.
Read all about you.
Read all about it. That's funny, that's good.
Story of our people.
That's a great, yeah. Good, Brad. Who else still wants one? Who doesn't have one? Anyone?
I'm good.
Hands up. I can just keep riffing as we go. Okay, thank you. So everybody has one who wants one? Yeah? Okay. And thank you to our students for helping to pass out the Chumashim. So now that we've reached this part of the service, I wanted to just take a few moments to share with you what is involved with the preparation for reading from the Torah. And those of you who were here at Danielle's bat mitzvah might remember this, but you are all about to participate in a pop quiz. With 3 questions, ladies and gentlemen. Here are the 3 questions. Question number 1. In what language is the Torah written? Josh.
Hebrew?
Dude, if you got that wrong,
I was worried it was a trick question.
it was not a trick question. Your bar mitzvah's in a few months. It's Hebrew. 10 points. Okay. Okay. 10 points. Yes. So if the Torah is written in Hebrew, now interestingly, we'll often get guesses of Aramaic, which is a very smart guess, or Yiddish. Aramaic was a spoken language through a lot of the biblical era, and the other major Jewish texts are written in Aramaic, like the Talmud. Aramaic pops up in the service, in the Kaddish, most notably. Yiddish, of course, was a spoken Jewish language much later, and is a combination of Hebrew and German with a little bit of Russian thrown in. But the Torah itself is written in Hebrew, so thank you, Josh. Now, here's the next question. In which direction do we read Hebrew? Yes, CJ?
From right to left.
Yeah, good job. From right to left. 10 points. You go to a good Hebrew school, too. And so, right to left is, of course, the opposite of the direction in which we read most other languages of our lives, most notably, of course, English. So let's take a second to think about that. As our students start to read and learn Hebrew throughout their experience here at Kivun, which is what we call our supplemental Jewish learning experience, they are learning characters and a language that is totally different from what they experience in the rest of their lives, made up of totally different characters. It goes in the opposite direction of the other languages they encounter. And as if that's not hard enough, the Hebrew in the Torah, no vowels. It's only consonants. Only consonants. Not only no vowels, no punctuation, no little trope marks that tell us how to chant it. So to give you a hint of what that's like, I invite you to picture your first name and remove the vowels from it. How would anyone know how to pronounce your name? Like at least Danielle, we have a guess, right? CJ would have a guess. You know, Charles, right? But unless you knew in this particular context that that V was Ava, because you had practiced the text, you had become so familiar with it that you knew when you were going to encounter it, you knew that it had a vowel A and a vowel A before and after it, and how to sing it if you were going to sing it, Ava. And you knew exactly what that V was going to represent. That's how familiar with her text Ava has had to become. So that when she sees a column of just consonants, and I'm going to tell you what's even trickier about her particular text, that she knows how to pronounce every word precisely, where every sentence begins and ends, and even how to sing it. Now here's what's even trickier about her portion. She has one of the most beautiful and special parshiot, one of the most important Torah portions of the year, called the Song of the Sea. Okay, and this is the song that the Israelites sing. It's in Parashat. Ooh, wait, that's the third question of the quiz. What is the name of the Torah portion this week? Anybody know? I know Denny knows.
I know, because I led it.
Because you led the Torah study this morning. Denny, do you want 10 points?
Yeah, I do want 10 points.
What's the name of the Torah portion this morning? Bishalach, 10 points for you. Thank you, Denny. Torah portion, Bishalach. Which is the Torah portion in which we Israelites are finally freed from slavery in Egypt. The 10 plagues have happened. Pharaoh has finally said, you can go. You know, we hear this whole story at Passover every year. And the seas are going to part. We walk through on dry land. And we sing a song of freedom on the other side. It's written in a really cool and special way that you'll see when Shalom does Hagvaha later on in the service and lifts it up for you to see the Hebrew. The Hebrew is written in a different format than any other Hebrew in the rest of the entire Torah, and it looks like waves of water. It's actually pretty tricky to follow, and Ava does a beautiful job reading from it. It's just a fantastic and very, very special text that shows how special this moment of freedom is for us. So, Ava will be reading for us. It's considered an honor to come up to bless each reading of the Torah. And our first aliyah is Ava's big sister, Danielle, who we are honored to call to the Torah. Page 408, with very familiar words you already heard in our service, Mi Chamocha, which is verse 11.
Amen. Mi Chamocha, Ba'ilim Adonai. Mi Chamocha, Nedar B'Kodesh, Nor Tehillah, Osefela. Nati Yitai Micha, Kiva Eino, Art, Na Kita Hastaha, Amsuga Alta, Nehata Zaha, Anaveka Cheha.
Barakata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah tevet v'hayei olam natan l'Eloheinu Barakata Adonai l'tein haTorah.
Amen. Yes. So what Ava read was, who is like you, O Eternal, among the celestials? And that's a really kind of tricky sentence right there. It's saying, who's like you, God, among all the other gods? And there's a question of, well, if we're a monotheistic religion, what is it saying if it's recognizing that there's other gods? Is it saying, like, our God is the best out of all the gods? If there's a recognition that there are other gods? It's a really tricky theological question. Or is it just saying there aren't any other gods and we just happen to have this one? I mean, so it's something that we have wrestled with for a very long time. You'll see in the footnote here, it dismisses it altogether and says, it's just talking about the angels. Who is like you among all the angels that are around God? But that's not really a fair interpretation because it's much more complicated than that if you're going to really wrestle with the Hebrew. So who is like you among the celestials? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders? You put out your right hand, the earth swallowed them. In your love, you led the people you redeemed. In your strength, you guide them to your holy abode. And now for our second aliyah, it is an honor to invite up the very felling parents here in the front row, Andy and Matthew Williams. The peoples here, they tremble. Agony grips the dwellers in Philistia. Now the clans of Edom dismayed. This starts to become like a war victory song. Because you hear this sense that we are free and so we can celebrate any victories that we may have had or are yet to come. The tribes of Moab, trembling, grips them. All the dwellers in Canaan are aghast. Terror and dread descend upon them. Through the might of your arm, they are still as stone, till your people cross over, O Eternal, till your people cross whom you have ransomed. If you notice, I'm reluctant to shake hands. Oh, stay up here, stay up here. My son has the flu, so I'm just trying to not, in case I have it, not spread it any farther. So, I love you all, and I'm shaking all your hands in spirit. Now we come to a super exciting and important moment in our service, which is our third aliyah, and this is Ava's aliyah. Now, why is this important? In Jewish tradition, when you turn 13, you are a bat mitzvah. It happens on the morning of your 13th birthday. You wake up in the morning and poof, you are a bat mitzvah or a bar mitzvah. You are now a Jewish adult. It just happens to you. It's a new status you take on by virtue of your age. It's like in America when you turn 18, when you turn 21. There are new things available to you based on your age. So you might say, well, wait a minute. If it's just going to happen anyway when you turn 13, why do you have to do all of this? Why have this whole big ritual of the service and the reception and gather everybody? Well, it's because, of course, as human beings, rites of passage are meaningful and significant to us. We want to mark them ritually. We want to celebrate moments in our lives. And so the rabbis acknowledged that, and then of course the way they do, they debated. What's the very minimum? What's the very least you should do to ritually mark this new status you have as a Jewish adult? And they identified this moment. Blessing the reading of the Torah. Saying the Aliyah blessings yourself. And so in a sense, we have now reached the bat mitzvah moment. And so it is now an honor to call Ava Rose Williams to the Torah as a bat mitzvah for the very first time.
Ta'amod, 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 habat mitzvah, Rivka Wafubat Chana Miriam Ashlishi.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Teliyema v'tita'ema v'ha'arna halacha ma'hom l'shivtaha va'ota Adonai migash Adonai kamu yadeha Adonai imlok le'olam va'ed ki v'ashim parah v'rifot u'farashat Vayam, vayashav Elohem et nehayam Ubnei Yisrael Hagu vayavashav Vatohayam.
You will bring them and plant them in your own mountain, the place you made to dwell in, O Eternal, the sanctuary, O Eternal, which your hands established. The Eternal will reign forever and ever. For the horses of Pharaoh. So now the song is ended and we get back to some narrative. The horses of Pharaoh, with his chariots and horsemen, went into the sea, right? So picture this. You know, all the Israelites walked through on dry land. The water was parted in this miraculous way. And the Eternal turned back on them the waters of the sea. But the Israelites marched on dry ground in the midst of the sea, right? So now as the Egyptians are walking through, the waters are going to crash back down on them and drown them, which we do wind up mourning, and that's part of the reason that during our Seder we pour off some of our wine, is we are very sad that people have to suffer in order for us to become free. And note, right after that, right after the section that Ava has read for us, Miriam, Moses' sister, leads the women in dance. Hoping everything is fine out there.
One another.
You want to take a look? Thanks, Jeff. Let's take a look out there.
We're good.
We're good. All right. Great. We're good. So, Miriam leads the women in dance as well with timbrels, and it's a very exciting celebration. So let's lead the blessings after.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam natan b'tohinu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Now, when somebody does something so well in services, it's not appropriate to clap. Rather, we wish them a Yasher Koach, which means may you continue to be strong. And I think Ava deserves an enormous Yasher Koach. So please join me. Yasher Koach. Mazel tov. While the Torah is out amongst us, we take a brief moment to offer a Mishberach prayer of healing to those in our families, in our community who are ill, who are suffering. We feel this extra bit of connection to God as we have this holy text out amongst us. So if you are thinking of somebody today who is ill, who is suffering, who is in pain, and you'd like to share their name out loud, I invite you to do so now.
Mary Rubin.
Yishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'Imotenu Sarah Rivka Leah Rachel v'Yivarech v'Yirpei et kol ha'cholim ha'elu. May the one who bless our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, bless and heal all who are ill, all who are suffering. We pray, God, that their family members, their caregivers, and their doctors will continue to be blessed with wisdom, with caring, and with love. We pray that they return to us with a complete healing of mind and of body and of spirit. Baruch atah Adonai rofeh hacholim. We praise you, God, who cares for the sick. And let us say together, Amen. And now, as I mentioned, and you saw it kind of in your Chumash if you were following along, this Torah portion is written in a really special way. It's not just the typical column of Hebrew. And so, even though Ava read it and chanted it so beautifully for us today, all adult Jews are responsible for reading Torah every Shabbat. Therefore, we have this ritual called Hagbah, in which the Torah is lifted up and turned around for everyone to see the text that is read, and it gives all y'all a chance to get credit for having read it too. And so I am honored to invite Shalom Kemai up to lift the Torah for us. Welcome back. And to help us then dress the Torah, CJ, come on back up. Everyone else, please rise. is that there were times when we weren't allowed to access the Torah itself, when occupiers or oppressors of ours said, you're not allowed to study your holy text, your Torah, but they forgot that we had other holy texts like the books of prophets. And so we would find texts that linked up that would help us remember the weekly Torah portions. And so, for instance, we just read the Song of the Sea, right, which is a song. This Haftarah portion includes a song by Deborah, who's a judge, and so we're going to hear a little bit about Deborah right before her song begins.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar b'nivim tovim, baratzah v'divreihem hana'emarim ba'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'torah u'moshe abdo u'b'Yisrael omo u'b'niviyei ha'emet b'tzedek.
Amen.
Deborah, wife of Lapidoth, a woman, was a prophet at the time. She was the leader of Israel. She used to sit under Deborah's palm between Ramah and Bethel in the hill country of Ephraim, where the people of Israel came to her for decisions. So she sent for Barak, son of Abinah of Kadesh, in the territory of Naphtali, and said to him, the God of Israel commands you to draw up at Mount Tabor. Take with you 10,000 men from the tribes of Naphtali and Zebulun. Then I will draw Sisera, Jabin's army commander, with his chariots and troops to the Wadi Kishon, and I will hand him over to you. Barak answered, I will only go if you come with me. If you don't, I won't go either. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, sor kol ha'olamim tzadik v'ho hadaro ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer v'oseh ha'mdaber imkayim shekol devarav emet b'tzedek al ha'torah v'al ha'odah v'al ha'yuvim v'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu l'kedusha u'linuha l'chavod u'tifer kol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim la u'mvarachim otah yitbarach shimcha b'fi kol ha'tamid le'olam va'ed baruch atah Adonai makadesh ha'shabbat.
Amen. Yasher Koach. And now we turn back in our Siddurim to 3 blessings that we recite on behalf of our congregation and our country and the state of Israel. And we have family members coming up to help us with these. You can find them on page 376. And so I'd like to now invite up to the bima Samuel Silverman, Rhea Silverman, Joseph Williams, Jessica Silverman, and David Silverman. Samuel and Rhea, come on first. Page 376.
Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us. Love of Torah, devotion and prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy.
Baruch atah Adonai she'otecha levadecha v'yirah na'avod. Amen. Thank you. And Joseph.
For our country, thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke, Share your bread with the hungry, and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing, and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in darkness. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Jessica Dave.
Shalom, shalom, Yerushalayim. Ish Layu, Omar Layu.
Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. So now we're going to go back one page to page 374 to return the Torah to the Ark. And I'd like to invite up Sarah Williams and Anna Kamai to help us open the Ark this time. And everyone else, please rise. and to go home with almost as a gift of a teaching. So now we can enjoy her Devar Torah.
Shabbat Shalom. I would like to thank Cantor Belinda, Rabbi Bellows, my mom, Dad, Danielle, CJ, and all of my friends and family who are here today, and those who were not able to attend. I would also like to thank God for making me the person that I am and making it possible for all of my friends and family to be here on this day. My Torah portion, Bishalach, is about God splitting the Red Sea so the Israelites could escape the Egyptians. As they make their way across the Red Sea, they start singing about how thankful they are and how their God is the best and how God has saved them all. I believe that my Torah portion is very straightforward. It is about how the Israelites were so thankful that God helped them get away from the Egyptians. Just moments before, they were like, oh snap, it's a Red Sea throwdown. Then all of a sudden, they were able to cross the sea, and they started singing and dancing. I could imagine myself there, walking through the wall of water, watching the fish swim by. I would also be happy to be across the sea. Why did God do this? It's simple. God wanted them to be safe. The Egyptians were bad because they were killing all of God's people, but it's also confusing. God has two different sides that he was showing. God must be fair, but he also must watch over us and protect us from harm. When we were crossing the sea, God wanted to help us, but also wanted to know that we have faith in him and can follow God's words in the face of danger. God believes that we need to learn to have faith in him before he can help us. We need to have faith in God because God will always have faith in us. We need to be willing to trust in God and be ready to do what is needed so that God will support us when we need help. God was very frustrated with the Israelites, but he knew that there were enough people that believed in him, and God gave them a chance, asking them to just get moving. There are small examples everywhere of people trusting in God and receiving help. Recently, my great-grandfather got diagnosed with esophageal cancer. The doctor told him he only had 6 months to live, and then he lived more than 6 months because he had a will to live and trust in God. Every day there are people in war-torn countries whose faith in God is tested as they pray for a better life. They need to believe that somebody or something is looking out for them. Their faith in God gives them the hope to continue. Helping others is important to me and is something that I enjoy doing. I want to help others because it makes me feel good about myself. For my Bat Mitzvah project, I chose to help others by volunteering at High Hopes Therapeutic Riding Center in Old Lyme. By volunteering there, I learned that not everybody is as fortunate as I am, and horses can make them feel better. Horses can help people build physical strength and gain motor skills, and they help people with mental disabilities. While I was there, I did very small things like grooming horses, setting up tack, cleaning out stalls, and sometimes sweeping the aisles. I was helping make sure the riders had a good experience at High Hopes. By doing tiny things like this, I know that I am making an impact on others' lives and helping them to overcome any disability they have, whether it's mental or physical. By coming a Bat Mitzvah, I will become part of the Jewish community. I will continue to try and impact others in a positive way, even if it's as simple as holding the door for somebody else or doing something to brighten their day. As I continue on, I hope that we can all have faith that God is there for us to lean on during a tough time in our lives, and to have faith that God is there when we need help for anything, no matter how big or small. Amen.
Amen. Asher Koach. Now, you all were handed candy earlier, and I know we have a very special helmet that Ava is going to present. Yeah, come on over here, Ava. Down right. All right, time to shower Ava with sweetness. It's yours. It's yours. Take you. Josh, take one, take two. It's yours.
I have one in my box.
Oh, yours too.
Who wants some?
Oh, you're a man. Josh is a mensch. Thank you.
Whatever you want.
And now we have the pleasure of welcoming Andy and Nat back up to the bima to share some words to Ava as her parents.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Ava, I am so incredibly proud of you. When we honored your wish to celebrate becoming a bat mitzvah in your birth month, we did not realize that celebrating this weekend what it would include. We began last night by celebrating Tu B'Shvat with the congregation and congregational birthdays to include yours. Your bat mitzvah today, with your Torah portion beginning our celebration from freedom from Egypt. Each time I heard you read about dancing and singing, I saw the younger Ava insisting on wearing spin dresses, twirling her way from one activity to the next. You appeared to embrace simplicity with the love of music, art, animals, flowers, and reading. Beneath the spin dress and the smile has always been a heart of gold and a strong moral code. A person who looks for solutions and stands up for others. Whether running into a parking lot at 6 to retrieve someone's litter or standing up for a child that's being picked on, I have watched you grow and mature, moving from spin dresses to Adidas track pants. People still sharing stories of Ava's acts of kindness and standing up for others. You have stayed true to your kind, strong, smart, beautiful self. Recently, after joining a new team, you decided to step back from the sport you enjoy because your new teammates and coaches did not demonstrate positive characteristics. This confirms so much about who you are. We, Dad and I, had several conversations with you about staying on the team, and with great humility, I saw a beautiful strength in you. How it's so important for you to play on a team that builds each other up, follows the rules of the games, and puts sportsmanship before winning. You reminded us that in spring you'll be able to go back to your old team, and until then you tried a new sport, tennis. You kept your moral compass intact. My hope is that you continue to navigate through the world, holding true to your strong inner core, surrounding yourself with people who lift each other up to their highest potential, knowing that Dad, Danielle, CJ, and I will always be on Team Ava.
Yeah, last time I cried, David said, no crying. So we'll see how it goes. There's no promises. There's so much stress and anxiety in the world today. Impeachment, immigration, Brexit, tension in the Middle East, 2 bat mitzvahs in 8 months. But we made it through, so that's good. Because we're surrounded by family and friends, and it doesn't really get much better than that. Ava, today is a celebration of your commitment to God, to the community, to your friends, and to your family. There's no better place than to be right here, right now, on this magnificent day. It's cold, but the sun's shining. Once again, we say thank you to everyone who has traveled great distances and are here with us today to celebrate. Unfortunately, things have not changed much since the last time, and not everyone could make it, though I know they wanted to be here. But those illnesses and personal demons persist. We continue to pray for you, and hopefully you're out there watching us at home. Finally, thank you to those who are no longer here in the physical world, but here with us in spirit. Simone, Sophie, Charlie, Boris, Regina, Vivian, and Robert. All right, Ava, here we are. We made it. High five. It was not easy. I'm a bit exhausted, in fact. I'm not going to lie. I think if we had a dime for every time we asked you to study, we'd probably own a Tesla at this point. But at the end of the day, you did study, and you did a fantastic job. Your mom and I are so very proud of you. Some of you think you know Ava, but there are actually very, very few of you do. I mean, have you ever had a deep conversation about which better represents time, a noodle or a wave? Go. Sure. But I have, and it was very enlightening. We'll share those thoughts with you later as we hang out. Depending on the setting, she may come across as aloof or quiet or shy, but that's because she's guarded, and she lets very few people see through the curtain. But today I'm going to reveal the truth. She is one of the most compassionate, loyal, intelligent human beings on the planet. She is competitive but caring. She is fierce yet sympathetic. In fact, I can see Ava standing at the edge of the Red Sea now. At first, maybe a little panicked. I think we all would be. But then she'd find her inner strength and make sure everyone pulled through. She is still Ava, and she would definitely stop and look at the fishes, as she said earlier. And if she had a camera, she'd definitely be taking pictures. But at the end of the day, there's no question she's a strong young woman. And she stands ready not only to be a member of the Jewish community, but a leader as well. For those of you here in June, you know how much I love inspirational quotes from fictitious characters, so here we go again. This time, no Star Wars. Different. This time from the magical world of Harry Potter. The wisest of all warlocks, Dumbledore. Harry is in the midst of a personal crisis. If you've read the books, you know he always is, but nonetheless, after taking the basilisk and Tom Riddle on, a.k.a. He Who Shall Not Be Named, a.k.a. Lord Voldemort, in the Chamber of Secrets, he feels uneasy after he discovers there are many similarities between himself and Tom. The wise old Dumbledore senses Harry's unease despite having just showered him with praise for saving Hogwarts. Harry acknowledges this, and Dumbledore begins a speech that I think he had two goals. In the short term, it would help put Harry's mind at ease, but in the long term, it would provide a lasting impact. Something he thought Harry could carry with him as he grew to be a more powerful wizard. He tells Harry that it's true that there are similarities due to an unintentional transfer of power from he who shall not be named to Harry during their first fateful encounter, when Harry was a young child. Really encourage you to read the books if you haven't. You know exactly what we're talking about. But that was not what is important. He presses on with a short, very clear, and concise message. It is our choices that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities. So Ava, what does this quote mean to you? You stand before us today as a truly gifted, talented, and truly powerful human being. Just like Harry, you undoubtedly have a lot more growing up to do and experiences to be had, and you will most certainly become stronger physically and spiritually, because today you have accepted all that you've learned about the Torah, about Judaism, and you are very committed to God. You are now armed with something that many young, powerful human beings, such as yourself, may not even desire: the ability to make informed, responsible, good choices. Choices that are deeply rooted in God. Choices that will make you and the world a better place. I love you, Ava, and we're very proud of what you've accomplished.
Well, we get to keep celebrating Ava with gifts from our congregation. We are honored to invite up Cantor Belinda, who not only serves as the wonderful cantor of our congregation as well as the educator of Kibun, but also served as your tutor throughout the bat mitzvah process. Presenting your Kiddush Cup, a member of our board, in fact, the president of our board, Brad Junior, is coming up. And then who is with us from Scholars? Denny Van Loo is coming up from Scholars to present your Etzayim. So come on up, if all three of you don't mind. Who would like to go first? Oh, yeah, and just in front of the microphone, please.
I never have anything prepared, obviously, but I do enjoy coming and listening and learning about our B'nai Mitzvah and enjoying these 2 hours of Shabbat and learning a little bit what you're about. And I think one thing that struck me in your Torah, and I think your father mentioned it, is you imagining yourself at the foot of the Sea of Reeds, ready to take your first step. And that's really, first thing, your Bat Mitzvah is obviously a culmination event. This is what we learned in Holy Scholars. Denny explained to us today. This is a culmination event in all the Torah. Basically our leaving Egypt and taking that first step into the Sea of Reeds. So, and I thought it was very interesting. And we are also obviously reminded every year that we are, to remind ourselves, we are like the Israelites who left Egypt and go forward. So that was very moving. On behalf of our congregation, on behalf of the board of directors, I want to present you with this gift. I believe your sister Danielle got the same gift 8 months ago. So I hope I can imagine, I hope on Friday nights you can both put your gifts out together, side by side. Enjoy a sweet Shabbat with your family. Every Friday night you get together. I wish you many of those sweet Shabbats. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So Ava, there is a group that's very special at CBSRZ called Holy Scrollers. And we meet every Saturday morning to study that week's Parsha, to discuss it, to pray over it, to argue about it. There's a book that helps us at Singing, which I have in my hands. And before I read what we've inscribed for you in it, just share that my daughter actually volunteered at High Hopes. So I was very moved by that. And I talked about Nashon this morning, who helped because Moses had some fear. The Israelites go into the Sea of Reeds. I'm going to add Ava Williams to that next time I actually lead on that one. So I'm very moved by everything you said this morning. What we've written in here is turn it, Torah, turn it, for everything is in it. Reflect on it and grow old and gray with it. Don't turn from it, for nothing is better than it. So this is a very special book. This book has changed my life. I really never found this book till a short time ago, several years ago. This is extremely powerful. So on behalf of Holy Scrollers, we'd like to have you come sometime and help us argue, discuss, debate, pray on Saturday morning. Your sister is welcome as well. We want to present you with your own essay.
Thank you.
So, I've had the privilege of working with you these months as your tutor, and I get to see you around this place in different ways. And your mom and dad basically covered all the words, you know, that I've come to know about you. And I really feel privileged that I have at least had a chance to peek behind and see like this kaleidoscope of beautiful parts. And for me, in working with you, I feel like this has been your crossing of the sea. And I need to explain to you guys that Ava led us this morning beautifully, seamlessly, like she's been doing this her whole life. And not only her whole life, but at this congregation. And I'm sure a lot of you are aware that with the dynamics in Matthew's career, you guys are moving all the time. Every 2 years, you have been to 5 or 6 parts, other communities, right? You've been a part of 5 or 6 other communities before coming here-ish, somewhere in there. So that's not easy when you're moving around so much and you're trying to take in these parts and pieces And as you guys know, every single place we do it the same, but we do it different, different melodies, different prayers, different customs. And to be coming into our synagogue at this later time in the process, and to become a part of us and lead us so beautifully, that is just, I can't even tell you how incredible it is, and how much of a joy it has been to walk this journey with you. We've been tutoring in my house, and I have a dog and a bird. So that has worked out really well, but I also have a bird that's, she's overflocking, and every time Ava comes in, she's like, how's the bird? And wanting to try to get to be friends with it. That heart of gold that comes out in all the ways that you are with people. And I think I understood part of the secret, which is your faith. I mean, you really have a strong connection with God. You really, it's not just words, it's in there. And that power is in you so strong. And that allows you to give your gifts to everybody else. So I hope that thread that holds you there, I hope that remains for always. And thank you for leading us so beautifully and allowing your family and friends to be a part of this wonderful community for the years and the time that we have you, and for today in particular. So it is my honor to be able to present to you your mitzvah, which you got to see earlier, but these guys didn't. You signed it earlier. And also as well, 2 certificates here. We have a membership towards the JCC. That might be a little far. You guys are out more my way. I know towards Niantic and Legends, so it is far, but still, I hope you guys get to use it. And also a $250 gift certificate from our nifty youth organization that would go towards a trip to Israel. And with your way of taking in the world and how you put this kaleidoscope of these beautiful parts and pieces, I really hope that you get to use it someday. So mazel tov to you and your family. Beautiful, 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 beautiful job, beautifully done today. Thank you.
And now my turn to say a few words. And knowing that it's not necessarily your favorite thing to be the center of attention, and you've been doing it now for a while. But you have been up here leading us, Ava, with so much grace and strength and maturity, as if you do this all the time. I keep whispering to you, and I don't know if it comes over the microphone, but that you're a rock star. You have just done such a beautiful job leading our congregation in prayer. And something I talk about in many different settings when I speak with people about what it means to lead worship is the congregation can feel it when the service leader is not confident. And you feel as a worshiper unsteady. Of, whoa, what's coming next? I don't know. Are we gonna, the whole ship kind of feels unsteady. Ava, you kept our ship very steady. We knew we were in good hands with your leadership today. And you just were sharing your heart with us, sharing your soul, sharing your very smart mind with us as well. At the risk of sounding a little cheesy, last night we ate many different kinds of fruit. And the first fruit we ate, do you remember which one it was? Grapes, right? Grapes or blueberries. It was fruits we had to eat all of, right? Fruits that you eat the entire thing. There's no pit, right? There's no hard shell. It's fruits you get to eat the entire fruit of. And do you remember what the symbolism was? That's fair. Yeah, that's totally fair. It was linked to, or at least when it comes to people, linked to people who just put themselves, all of themselves, into relationships. and commit all of themselves to the things that they do and the work that they do. And Ava, we feel all of you here this morning. And your parents have shared even more of you with us all today, and we hope to experience even more of you along the path. I hope today is not the end of your Jewish journey, but just the next milestone along the way, and that we have many more opportunities to learn with and from you, because you are very wise, and I think you have a lot more to share with us all. Like a grape or a blueberry or a, what else was there? That was yummy. Dates had a pit.
Raisins.
Figs. Raisins. Yep, there were lots of yummy fruits. If you missed it last night, you missed a very yummy experience. So thank you for sharing your sweetness, how about that? Your sweetness with us today, and all of your heart and soul. We pray for you, Ava, that you are always blessed with goodness every step of your way, that you are blessed with success, with love, with joy, with good health, and that we get to always be a home for you, a place where you feel at home, a place where you know that you are always welcome to come, that you have a place on this bima to lead us whenever you'd like. And I hope this isn't the last time that you take a place proudly here by Cantor Belinda's and my side. You are very welcome at all times. So, Ava, it is now our privilege to invite you in front of the open ark for the priestly blessing, as Jews have blessed each other for many, many generations. And I'm going to invite all your friends and family to please rise. We're going to remain standing and turn now to our concluding prayers, beginning with Aleinu on page 586 in the middle of the page. Aleinu Adon Habo, Latei Tuva Yosef Reshit, Shelo Asanu Keharatzot, Velo Samanu Kemishrekot Adama, Shelo Sam Lekeinu Kahem, Vekol Radeinu Kepo Eonam, Vanam 598. We take a moment now to pause in our service and think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. On behalf of the Williams family, we are especially remembering those who we wish could have been with us here at this precious celebration in body, but we know are with us in spirit. Charles Janowski, Simone Janowski, Sophie Janowski, Boris Nijvetsky, and Regina Nijvetsky. On behalf of CBSRZ, we are marking the recent passing of Ibolito Gonzalez. And who else is marking a Shiva, Shloshim, first year of mourning, or yard site, and would like to share a name out loud? Zichronam Livracha, may all of their memories always be for a blessing. We join now together in the mourner's Kaddish. Yit gadal, shmei rabba, ve'alma yivarach yirtei, v'amni komatutei, v'chayevon v'yom echon, v'chayei kol Beit Yisrael, v'agalau b'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba v'vorach le'olam l'amei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishavach v'yitpalar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei kedusha v'reichu. Elam kol birchata v'shirata, tushkachata v'nechemata, da'miram yalma v'yimru amen. Yehei shalom rabba v'yishamaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom v'imrama, v'yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all the world. Together we say, Amen.
We can remain standing as we conclude with Odibo Shalom Aleinu, peace upon the world, page 657. Odibo Shalom Aleinu, 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 Odibo Shalom Aleinu.
That is so awesome. So it's jealous, the wine always gets to go first. It always feels bad. So we cover it so it has a grand entrance. Yes. So let's give it a grand entrance. We're all going to say, voila, as we take the cover off. On the count of chamesh. You ready? And we'll give it such a grand entrance. Ready? Achat, shtayim, shalosh, arba, chamesh. Voila! Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
rules.
CJ, I would watch out for more Eric. He might just, you know.
And your sweater matches my dress. Still on two? Yeah. Two very special women are all dressed up. I know. She's because it's September. Did you get candy? A lot? Are you going to share with your sister? Andy's too small to get. I like your shoes. You have such pretty bow ties. Well, whenever you're in town, come visit. It's always so nice to have you. Last year, it's nice that they're here as long as everybody. CJ, may I have one, please? Oh, you can have one. No, I just want one. There. Thank you. Well, please, this trying and not a problem. And she's saying that was good for you. That's good. Look how much candy CJ got. He got a whole hat. It's on me. We got that maybe 12 hours. But it
nice to have you.
Thank you. And Matt, what did you say?
Oh, that's right. My sister's probably watching and I wonder if she can.
Oh, say hi.